This is the last man on Earth. Suddenly he saw the female model in the store. Her hot body makes him drool. He hasn't seen a woman in a long time. I'd like lonely driving a truck to find people in each city. He's been halfway across the country. Haven't seen any ghosts yet. Miller despaired and decided to stop at Tucson. Arbitrarily moved into a mansion. Several 100,000 of wine just to gargle. Dinosaur fossils in the museum. Put it on the table as decoration. Van Gogh paintings are several 100 million hanging large. After being renovated, the toilet is worth several million. Busy all day. I can only lie in bed and talk to myself. He told God not to bring women to me. I can live well alone. The next day, he went to a supermarket, shot through the door, and then rushed inside. If you see a drink that irritates your eyes, then stop. Snacks piled up in the car. All the movies on the shelves were taken away. Even though Sal has money, he can't spend it. In a large place to play bowling. Use a glass lamp as a bulb bottle. You can also have fun playing alone. When you feel bored, take the fish tank out. Use a car instead of a person. Further stimulation is, stick a bomb on a limited edition sports car. Then stick the trick in another car. Then he pushed downhill. Let it crash straight towards the sports car. When I saw the car, I couldn't even touch it. I didn't dare touch it. Miller was extremely happy. I can't stop having fun during the day. But at night I started to feel sad again. Remember life before Kia. Although not rich, but every day there are family members around who are very prosperous. Which now has several billion. Nor can it solve loneliness. Live like that for more than half a year. Miller no longer had any feelings for life. Luxury villas also become landfills. Do not put in eyes. Without a woman, his spirit was in turmoil. Look at the old lady in the magazine. There is an indescribable emotion in my heart. Good wine worth a few million poured into the swimming pool for 2 points. This is his new way of playing. Lie down and sprinkle a ring of salt around. Turn around to eat a piece of salt. Then drink 2 sips of wine. Loneliness makes him feel hopeless. I want to find a friend to tell my heart's suffering. But smiley face on shadow. Can't talk either. Finally, I talked alone until I collapsed. At this time, he just realized Ra has someone living with meaning. After a period of time living alone, Miller finally couldn't stand being alone. Decided to give up. He left a testament on a large rock. Then drive the minivan. Muster all the courage to push the GA all the way. Prepare to crash straight into the rock. But unexpectedly, he found out at this moment, when the car was about to hit the rock, Miller involuntarily looked to the left, then quickly went back. He stood on the roof of the car, looking wild. Turns out, not far away, there was a cloud of smoke rising. This means there are people living there. Thinking so, Miller excitedly returned to the car, pedal the GA, and run towards the rising smoke. It's not surprising that there are people living here. But what happened next? Surprised Miller. A few gongs hang in midair. Caught his eye. It had been a long time since he had seen a woman. He held it, took a deep breath, and then fainted from excitement. As soon as Miller woke up, he saw a beautiful girl. He asked the girl if he was dreaming. But strangely enough, it seemed like the girl didn't hear what Miller said. Start artificial respiration. The man saw something unusual and then looked closely. The girl immediately turned into an ant. Turns out this was Miller's hallucination. Miller didn't have time to react and asked his aunt, "Did you catch that girl just now? Give it back to me quickly." The more he talked, the more agitated he became. Quickly took Raz's gun and told him to step back, further asked him to put down his clothes. Miller didn't dare to disobey and regretfully put his things down. His actions made Karan feel nauseous. But think about the issue of extending the next life. Carol had to put down the gun. The two introduced themselves and became acquainted again. The last man on Earth. The last woman on Earth. The appearance of Karan makes Miller have new hope in life. He decided to take Karan back to the villa to live together. But very quickly he regretted it. Carol is a person full of positive energy. He kept talking non-stop along the way. Go through a red light. Insisted on forcing Miller to stop and obey traffic laws. To the parking lot. Carol asked Miller to park the car in the correct location. Haven't come home yet. Miller was about to be bothered to death by this person. First he took Karan on a tour of the natural toilet, of course. Then introduced the swimming pool he usually bathes in. I couldn't believe it while bathing and drinking Karan. Seeing the cleanliness turned into a landfill. Karan decided to do it. Miller restored normal life. Miller liked the freedom of hearing her finish. I feel like swearing. He angrily took Carol back to the campsite. Before leaving, Carol said calmly, "I will definitely change." He hadn't waited for her to finish speaking. Miller was upset and quickly rode Gay away until the next day. While brushing his teeth, he looked out the window and Miller froze. He hurried out to see. Good job, Carol moved the whole family here. Moreover, she also wanted to live next to his house. Miller told Carol unhappily, she could be anywhere in the world. "Why do you have to live next to my house?" I expected Karan to object, if not for the sake of procreating descendants to save this world. "It's been a long time since I looked at a pervert like you." Miller could not stop Karan and returned to the villa. On the way, he didn't stop talking, a hand clapping soundlessly. "As long as I don't coordinate how pretty you are." After moving in, Karan told Miller to fix the water pipe so he could grow vegetables. Miller lazily said, "It's that person fix, I don't fix it." Unexpectedly, Miller took a tomato from Ray. Eat deliciously in front of him. Miller said not to eat, but my heart was already salivating. He hasn't eaten fresh vegetables in 2 years. Miller determined not to fix the plumbing for Karan. But at night, he secretly went to Karen's vegetable garden again, steal tomatoes, teach for a few days, found that Miller hadn't changed a bit. So Karen changed the plan, started joining the family and started throwing trash around. Turn your faucet into a natural toilet. Seeing this, Miller lost his temper. I gave up my plan to drink water. You must be happy to hear this news, right? I also left out all the other things, so what did you say? None of my tomatoes survived. Can a new civilization be born? In the end, Miller still lost to Karan. He stayed up at night, fixing water pipes to irrigate the vegetable garden. Agreed to reproduce with Karan in the next generation. But after eating romantic dinner preparations begin, Karen's request made him regret it. We have to get married first. Why does she have to get married? Marriage has no meaning anymore. The two people disagreed and started arguing. Although I really don't like Carol's style, but in this world, she's the only woman left. To be born after saving the world. Miller very unwillingly got down on one knee and proposed to Karan, being forced to marry a woman he hates. The groom attended the wedding with a miserable face. But I didn't expect that I just got married to Karan yesterday. Today he crashed into a hammer car. The girl walked down from the car. Is the goddess he wants in his dreams. Miller looked dumbfounded. I immediately felt regretful because I met him too late. After talking, just found out that Melissa came here 2 weeks ago. But because this place is so big, she only found people now. After hearing this, Miller felt extremely regretful. I regret getting married too early. I regret not writing a specific address when I wrote my will. Then he took Melissa back to the villa. Arranged for her to live next to my house to make up for the regret in my heart. Miller was determined to capture this woman. It's time for dinner. Miller's way of dressing made the two of them look dumbfounded. He neatly wears a beard of 10 years. I secretly thought that, if I was this handsome, Melissa I would definitely get it. But the words of two women made Miller cry without tears. They said his chin was too pointy. If you don't have a beard, you can't cover it. It's even worse. Miller turned his full attention to Melissa. Change your previous hot-tempered personality. Talk to her like a gentle sheep. His wife talked non-stop. Next to him, he also pretended not to hear. After eating, see off guests, Karan went upstairs to start planning to make a baby. Miller pretended to have a stomach ache again, refused Karen's request. The next morning, Miller timed his training in front of the goddess just right. Said, "I have to practice getting 9 abs. No, Melissa likes ladybug cars." Last night he stayed up all night to drag the car home and give it to her. Even raised his eyebrows and said to her, "I am a responsible man." Carol was extremely angry when she heard the news. Criticized Miller if he had time to buy a car for her. "I don't have time to fix Isao's door." If it were before, Miller would definitely be too lazy to do it. But now to create a good image of a man in front of me, Melissa. He immediately agreed. Looking at beautiful women is so immersive. He accidentally tapped his thumb. It was clear that he was in near-death pain, but still appeared to be okay. Melissa said today is her birthday. "I want to invite the couple to my house for a drink tonight." Miller said he would definitely notify Carol. But in my heart, I don't think so. In the evening, Miller went to Melissa's house alone. He has bad intentions and drinks constantly. Drunk Melissa said she couldn't stand being alone. Want to randomly marry someone. But unfortunately, the last man on earth, married Miller, was extremely happy after hearing this. He told Melissa to wait for him for 2 minutes, then quickly ran home to find Karan. Want to divorce her. But when I entered the house, I saw Karan working hard to make a heart wreath. The words that had reached his throat were swallowed back. Remember how Karen sacrificed so much for me. Although she talks a lot, but do everything thinking about the big picture. Thinking about this, Mila suddenly felt confused about one side is a good married wife. On one side are wildflowers that we just met along the road. In the end, Miller did not do anything wrong but became a good husband. This movie ends here. This is the end of the movie. Thank you for watching. If you find it interesting, remember to like the channel to support it. Goodbye and see you again in the next movies.